Hi, everyone, and welcome back. I'd like to share with you a question that I had from a mother. She has been coming to observe lessons for the last few weeks, and with her 4 years old son. And the question was, how can I make my child ready? Or maybe she said, how can I help my child get ready? It's a very good question because as I was informing her at the beginning, she will come and observe lessons and she will stay with the child only as long as the child can sort of sit quietly and comfortably, and then she leave. She doesn't have to stay more than the child actually can handle. And sometimes it might just be 2 or 3 minutes. And every time, if she listens to the signs from the child and leaves when the child cannot sit anymore, then in a natural way, with the time, the child will develop more ability to concentrate or not. But if not, that might mean also that the child is not showing any interest yet in playing a musical instrument. In our case, it's piano. So all of this has been conveyed to the mother, and very diligently she comes almost every week to the lesson, to observe a lesson. Now, what I do when children come to observe lessons, I actually don't really make a big fuss out of it. I do welcome them and the parent as they enter the studio. At the beginning, when they come, I introduce them to the child that has the lesson in progress and the parents. So we start by creating the sense of community. But then I don't really look at the child, not that the child notices. I continue with the lesson in progress, but I always say to the parents that I have eyes in my back. I can feel what a child is doing on the side. And I can also feel how willing or how settled the child is in the lesson, in observation. And I cannot tell a parent how long it'll take until the child starts showing signs of interest. Because I don't know, every child is unique. Every child is unique. I do know that at the end, every child will get to this point of wanting to play, wanting to be a part of this studio environment. And why am I so confident? Because if anything happens, if nothing happens on the way that blocks the desire or interfere with the desire or impedes the desire, then every child would like to play and make music. Music is the birthright of every child, of every human being. And this idea, this thought has never failed. I've been doing this for many, 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 many years. And it's always the case. Yes, I did see cases of parents who gave up, and I completely understand, because sometimes it takes a very sincere commitment, a very almost like devotion, devoting yourself to this cause of I'm going to come every week, or maybe sometimes more than once a week if possible, to a lesson, to observe a lesson, while the Suzuki recording is played over and over and on again at home. I'm going to continue until my child shows signs. But some parents feel that it's too much for them, and maybe it's because they can't see the big picture, or maybe they can't see the long-term goal. Why? Because they haven't been there. And nobody told them, maybe. And maybe even if someone told them, we know that until we do something and we see it in our own eyes, we tend not to believe, especially if it takes a lot of commitment from our side. So some parents at some point will say to themselves or to me, I just can't go on like this. If they say to me, I will try to show them, to take them a little bit further forward in the goal. But if they don't tell me, or if they just let me know that they decided to stop observation and they don't want to talk about it completely, that's the prerogative. But if parents do choose to stick to it and to persevere, which is a very, very good word, perseverance. This is something that our society does not encourage us. Everything is short-term gratification, pressing the button and getting what we want. Playing an instrument, developing concentration, acquiring any skill takes perseverance. And this is one of the things, but just one of the things which Suzuki education is so relevant, because by teaching a child to persevere, by showing a child how we persevere, the perseverance is being taught, not just perseverance in practicing an instrument, but perseverance in doing whatever the child is going to do in her or his life. So after this mother asked me the and it's not the first time mothers or fathers ask this question while they observe, I actually took it to bed. I took the thought, I was reflecting after the lessons, sitting, closing my eyes, having this conversation in my head with Shinichi Suzuki, which I love talking to him while he was alive, and trying to draw tools from my own experience. And because I don't just want to give a mother an answer which is not coming from a deep research inside me. And what I came up with, and this is one of my way to share it with the mother and other mothers and fathers, it will take, sorry to say it, because it's a very annoying answer, but it will take as long as it takes. I don't know how long it takes. And I also don't know how to make the child get it quicker. I can say what is the environment that will be like a good soil with nutrition and good water for this seed to grow. And this is to make sure that the listening to the Suzuki recording is there as long as possible and as much as possible. To use the music, the recorded music, the listening to the music, to use it as lessons, to use it as the first step, to use it as the environment. So this is one. The other thing is actually not to try not to feel or think impatient, because if the parent is impatient, even if the parent doesn't say anything to anyone about it, the child feels it. We know children feel everything that their parents are going through. So the first thing I would say, I want to say work on yourself, but it doesn't have to sound like work. Just take a breath and say to yourself, it will happen. It will happen when all the circumstances in my child are ready. I can only give the environment for this to happen. I cannot make it. It's really like a seed that is planted in the earth. And as I'm talking to you, I'm reminded of a screenshot that I have of many PowerPoints that I'm giving around the subject. This is a quote by Shinichi Suzuki from the book Nurtured by Love, page 45. And it talks exactly about the thing which I was mentioning before. A seed is planted in the earth. We don't see when the germination begins. That is the doing of Mother Nature. We have to wait patiently. We cannot dig up the seed to see whether it is really growing. To do so would be to destroy everything. Suddenly, a bud appears. What a joy and pleasure to watch it grow. At the same time, the root, unseen in the ground, is getting stronger and has the power to produce a big, sturdy tree. It says it all, and the picture is so strong and so alive. We can all see it, and we just need to remember to apply it to the learning process, to the education process, to learning a skill process. Yes, we need to make sure that this seed is getting the best environment, fertilize, light, love, food, water, but we cannot actually stand near the seed and say, grow, grow. I told you to grow. How long do you think you should wait until you grow? So it's the same. It's the same. Love will be one of the main tools that we can use. In Suzuki's words, where love is deep, much can be achieved, much can be accomplished. So my answer to this dear mother and many other parents, what can I do? Just make sure that you provide the right environment. And if you're getting tired of coming and observing, just take a rest. Let's see what happens if we actually don't let the child start when the child is really ripe and ready. Most likely we will create a negative attitude at some point. Because if we start by doing something which is going to take years, it's an ongoing process, learning to play an instrument, the Suzuki education. If you start not with full excitement, then it won't take long, and you will actually start the desire will wane, and you will not be able to help. It will become a struggle. Last thing parents want, or last thing I want for parents and children, is to struggle. We've got enough struggle in life. We don't have to add one more struggle. I really mean it, that if we do it in the right way, with the right proportion, and especially the right heart and attitude, this process of being a Suzuki parent can be a very joyous experience. I can see also how it can become a very a chore, or how it can become a very tedious process. But at the beginning, as we just start, as we just come up to observe everything, this is really the stage that the seed is in the ground. And we have no idea when the seed turns into the plant, and we can see the plant coming out of the soil after the earth. We still don't know what flower is going to come out of it. That's still a mystery. And it will stay a mystery as long as we raise kids or ourselves. So just be there. Just open your heart for patient for patience, for exploring. It's doing less. It's more of enabling. Enable your child by growing up in their own pace, child's own pace, to show the signs that the child is ready. And I'll bring it back to myself now as a teacher. As I said before, I've got eyes in my back. So when I see that there's energy of participation, even inner participation from the child that comes to observe, I can feel this quiet observation, and also it registers as sincere desire to join, to be a part of it. Sometimes a child might get a bit closer and watch from a close distance. Sometimes children just close their eyes and fall asleep. So it's not what the child needs to do in order. I feel when the child is ready. And then I will usually invite a child to come and bow with us at the beginning or at the end of a lesson. Only as a suggestion. No force, no forcing, no pressure. And slowly, or sometimes not very slowly, when the child is ready, the child joins and takes a bow. And I can see by the respond that the child really feels like a part of what's going on here. And I say then to the parent, your child is ready. Let's find a time for you. Let's schedule a time and we'll start our lessons. And while we do it, I make sure that the parent still comes to observe other lessons. I'll usually try to put the lesson adjacent to another lesson that a child might be inspired to observe, that I feel is good for the child to observe. And that's it. We are in. So this is my quite long answer of how can I help my child to get ready sooner? So maybe we drop the sooner. We'll just make sure that we are there providing the environment for the child. And with this, every child will come to this point. It never failed. I've never seen a child who did not want to start doing what other children are doing. So patience and love and dedication. And the rewards are there for your child and for you, parent. Please don't hesitate to ask me more questions. Send them to my email on the Facebook page. You'll find the way. Or just subscribe to the podcast and you can be notified about all the other information. Be well.